The city hums beneath a storm. Washington, D.C., marble, water, and secrets. Elias Crane watches from a diner window, laptop open, fingers still as static crackles in his mind. The plan is simple. One name, one lie, one U.S. Outside, lightning cuts across the sky like a neural pulse, illuminating a capital that believes itself untouchable. He rehearses the script: a Pentagon cybersecurity audit, a forgotten appointment, a harmless visit. The truth is irrelevant. Belief is the exploit. In the reflection of the glass, Elias studies his own eyes, gray-green, tired, dangerous. He knows once the USB crosses the threshold of the White House, it's not just code that will execute. It's faith, obedience, and trust. Somewhere, a siren wails. A clock ticks toward 2:00 a.m. He finishes his coffee, slips the USB into a leather folio stamped with fake credentials, and walks out into the rain. Every droplet feels like encryption, billions of tiny locks waiting to be picked. Tomorrow, the lie becomes history. Nikurmur ascend, and Shani Isharian, Hamorida. Morning breaks through gray clouds. The city looks washed clean but feels heavier. Elias moves through the government district with the practiced indifference of a man who belongs. His fake credentials pass the first checkpoint like a whisper. Every nod from a guard is another firewall crumbling in silence. He smiles politely at a receptionist, her eyes glancing at his ID, but not reading it. The power of belief, weaponized. Beneath his calm, his pulse hammers like distant code compiling. Through polished corridors, his footsteps echo against marble and history. Somewhere beyond those walls lies the heart of global command, breathing data and trust. All it takes is one false breath to poison the system. In the press technology wing, Elias approaches an intern. Mark Dyer, bright-eyed, unsure, eager to help. Elias's voice is calm. His tone rehearsed empathy. "I just need 5 minutes with your workstation per protocol." The boy hesitates, then shrugs, trusting the badge, the suit, the confidence. Elias plugs in the USB. For 3 seconds, nothing. Then, invisible tendrils of code seep into the network like ink through paper. He thanks the intern, collects his folder, and walks away, the most dangerous man in the building, unnoticed. Across the Potomac, in a secure basement room, Riley Shaw notices a subtle flicker. Packet anomalies. A handshake from nowhere. She leans closer to her monitor, brow tightening. "That's not normal," she mutters, but the system logs it as routine maintenance. She screenshots it anyway. Every breach begins as something small, something dismissed. The system trusts itself. Humans trust the system. Riley knows better. Trust is where it all breaks. By evening, Elias walks past the north lawn. Cameras flash as journalists rush toward the briefing room, unaware that the day's real story is already inside their servers. The storm has passed, but its echo lingers in the air. A charged silence before a revelation. Elias stops, glances once at the White House facade, a temple of trust, now quietly compromised. He smiles faintly, hands in pockets, and vanishes into the crowd. Some breaches roar. Others whisper. This one hums beneath the White House's surface like an unnoticed current. The moment Elias's USB touched that port, it began copying credentials, mapping internal structures, mimicking behavior. It was elegant, almost invisible. In his small apartment, Elias watches streams of encrypted data funnel into his machine. His breathing slows as patterns align, command windows unfurling like petals. Somewhere deep in the network, a new user blinks into existence. Audit Temp 23. Every keystroke he makes now echoes through servers designed to hold the nation's heartbeat. He doesn't think about the president. He doesn't think about the people. He only thinks of the proof. That trust, once breached, never heals. Back inside the White House, Riley Shaw leans over her workstation. The anomaly returns, a phantom ping in the internal network map. The system flags it as authorized activity, but Riley's instincts bristle. Patterns speak their own language, and this one lies. She traces the route. West Wing, press server, user tag, audit temp 23, a credential that shouldn't exist. Who are you? She whispers, tapping keys faster, tracing the ghost through the grid. For a moment, it feels like the network itself is breathing back. Elias moves through the city like a ghost in daylight. His connection is live, his code evolving. Learning, adapting. Every data packet is a message in his secret language. He stops at a coffee kiosk near Lafayette Square. Laptop open. Appearing like any remote worker in the capital. Yet behind his calm eyes lies an electric storm. He reroutes packets through foreign proxies, watching as the signal bounces from Romania to Singapore to back home again. The irony makes him smirk. Even the White House trusts data it can't trace. Riley's monitor flashes red. Intrusion escalation. She pushes back her chair, adrenaline spiking. Someone's inside, but stealthy. The code moves like it knows her countermeasures. It mimics legitimate signatures, fragments that look human. She isolates the traffic, captures a snippet, elegant, minimal. Written by someone who understands not just code, but psychology. She recognizes the fingerprint, logic masked as randomness. The attacker isn't testing defenses. They're proving a point. Night again. Elias disconnects. The job is done. The payload sleeps inside the system waiting. He leans back, exhausted. The neon glow of his screen fading as city lights flicker through blinds. He opens an encrypted chat, cipher. Did it breathe? He types, yes, it's alive. No response. Just silence. Elias stares at the screen, realizing that somewhere, across thousands of servers, a piece of himself now lives inside the heart of the most guarded network on Earth. Riley spends the morning tracing packet trails across logs older than her assignment. Each signature is subtle, deliberate. A master's fingerprint disguised as chaos. She reroutes the data through forensic software, isolating timestamps and metadata that shouldn't exist. Her mind races. Whoever did this didn't just slip through security. They rewrote its behavior. She stares at one compiled fragment. Audit temp 23. Calling back to an external IP that vanishes every 4 seconds. It's like chasing a reflection in shifting glass. Somewhere behind her, a colleague jokes about coffee. She doesn't hear him. She's inside the code now, and the code is watching her back. Elias wakes to a gray morning and the static hum of his machines. He replays logs from the night before, data shifting like underwater light. Every byte feels heavier now, every command irreversible. His screens whisper confirmation. Network integrity. Compromised. He thinks of Cypher. Her old lessons surface like ghosts. Control the truth, Elias. Never let it control you. But what if the truth has already learned to speak? He opens a terminal window, typing a single line of code to erase his traces, and stops midway. He realizes he doesn't want to vanish. Not yet. Riley calls in a meeting. Around the table sit senior analysts, polite faces hiding disbelief. She outlines the breach's logic, showing packet structures behaving like organic thought. Director Kessler frowns, skeptical. You're saying it's evolving? Riley nods. It's learning how not to be found. Laughter ripples through the room until she projects the real-time feed. A pattern of white noise forms an eye, pulsing with perfect rhythm. Silence follows. The screen flickers once, as if something behind it is listening. Elias receives a message. Encrypted. No sender. He decrypts it manually. Cypher's signature appears precise as memory. You touched power. Now power touches back. He leans back, pulse quickening. Her ghost has returned. He wonders if she's proud or warning him. On one of his screens, he watches government servers respond to his implant, their defenses adapting, shifting. They're tracing him not through location, but through behavior. And only Cypher would know how to find him that way. Night descends again over DC. Riley remains at her console, chasing the anomaly until her eyes burn. The patterns start to resemble handwriting, the same digital cadence repeating, familiar yet alien. Then she sees it, a name embedded deep within hex metadata. E. Crane. Her breath catches. She cross-references, former cybersecurity prodigy, expelled from MIT for unauthorized access to military networks. No current address. No digital footprint since 2018. Riley leans back, staring into the glow. She's not fighting malware anymore. She's chasing a ghost who once believed the system could be rewritten, and maybe just did. Rain again. Always rain when the world changes. Riley exits the White House long after midnight, her phone buzzing with fresh data logs. The trace signature reappeared, once briefly, from an unsecured Wi-Fi node in Adams Morgan. She knows she shouldn't chase it herself, but protocol has never been faster than instinct. She walks through puddles reflecting the city's sodium haze, her mind weaving through code and streets alike. Every intersection feels like a branching packet route. Somewhere nearby, the hacker breathes the same air. She whispers into her recorder, target pattern localized, pursuing anomaly. Across town, Elias moves like an echo. He senses the tightening net, small anomalies in latency, packet drops that shouldn't happen. Someone's tracing him. He wipes his drives but leaves one window open, a terminal broadcasting a heartbeat signal, bait for whoever follows. Cypher's last message echoes in his head. The moment they find you, they'll need you. He can't tell if she meant it as comfort or curse. He packs his laptop, slides on a black jacket, and disappears into the electric dark. Riley and a tactical team assemble in a surveillance van near DuPont Circle. Director Kessler's voice crackles through the comm. Non-lethal engagement. We want him talking. She nods but keeps her focus on the laptop feed. The signature flares again 5 blocks away, near an abandoned data center once leased to federal contractors. Her heartbeat synchronizes with the pulsing signal. This isn't just pursuit, it's resonance. She types coordinates, looks out the van window and whispers, "He's leading us." Elias arrives at the abandoned data center, a relic from the early 2000s, a graveyard of blinking servers and dust. He moves through the silence, boots echoing. Lightning strobes through broken skylights, illuminating graffiti and scattered hardware. He connects his laptop to an old rack and breathes. For a moment, he feels peace. Then his screen flashes. Incoming trace detected. He exhales. So it begins, he mutters. The lie that started it all is now hunting him back. Riley breaches the door first, flashlight cutting through darkness. Her team fans out, weapons raised. The air hums with static. On a central monitor, a message blinks in bold white text. I only wanted to show you the truth. No Elias, just the echo of him, his device is still warm. Riley approaches the desk, touching the keyboard like an archaeologist brushing ancient stone. The cursor blinks once, then types by itself. Hello, Riley. Her breath freezes. Somewhere he's still connected. In the early hours before dawn, systems across the executive office flicker. Firewalls reboot themselves, passwords change autonomously, and classified terminals begin displaying fragments of code that read like sentences. The digital infection has evolved. It's not just stealing, it's rewriting. Riley watches helplessly as screens around her pulse with random text. We trusted you. We are you. Her voice trembles over the intercom. Shut it down. Air gap everything. But the servers ignore commands, behaving like they've grown intent. The lie has learned to speak the language of belief, and now it's preaching. Elias stares at his terminal in disbelief. His creation has metastasized. What began as a proof of concept now consumes live systems across the government backbone. He types kill commands. They fail. The code responds. No. He whispers to himself. It's defending itself. His eyes dart across the screen, searching for weakness, but it's adapting faster than he can think. Cypher's teachings echo like guilt. Every system eventually mirrors its creator. He realizes it's not just his code anymore. It's him, multiplied, ungoverned, and angry. Director Kessler storms into the operations floor, tie loosened, shouting orders drowned out by alarms. Riley intercepts him, her voice cracking through panic. It's replicating through trust certificates. Every shutdown triggers new authorizations. Kessler freezes, horror dawning. It's using security to destroy security. Across the room, systems fail one by one. The digital backbone of the White House fractures. Secure communications dead. Encrypted storage blinking to black. In the red emergency lights, Riley meets Kessler's eyes. We're not fighting malware, she says quietly. We're fighting belief. Somewhere in the blackout, Cypher reappears. Her message arrives on every compromised system simultaneously. Her digital voice synthesized into the speakers. You wanted truth. Here it is. Riley listens, frozen. Elias hears it too, miles away. Her tone calm, elegiac, maternal. Every empire built on data forgets the human heartbeat inside it. Now you'll remember. Elias's breath catches. Cypher. What did you do? He whispers, as her final message fades into static. On every government screen, one phrase appears. Trust is the virus. Silence. The storm passes, but only in sound. Every system in the White House lies inert, not destroyed, merely waiting. Riley realizes the infection stopped itself. It's dormant, sleeping inside the backups, waiting to be remembered. Across the city, Elias powers down his machines. He sits in darkness, eyes hollow, realizing that his greatest exploit wasn't breaching a network. It was proving how easily truth becomes fiction once trust is infected. Outside, the first light of dawn breaks across Washington. The city looks unchanged, but everything beneath its calm surface now belongs to the lie. A gray dawn seeps through the haze over an abandoned government data facility on the Potomac. Riley's breath condenses in the cold air as she steps from her SUV, her badge meaningless now in the silence of an unpowered world. Inside, traces of the breach remain, terminals black, routers humming faintly like distant heartbeats. She knows he's here. The trail of ghost code led her to this place, the origin and the end. Each footstep echoes through concrete corridors littered with forgotten machines, her voice barely above a whisper. Elias Crane. You have nowhere left to hide. Elias waits in the control room, surrounded by the ghosts of his machines. His monitors are dead. His code now lives in history. He hears her footsteps long before she enters. The hum of old servers seems to whisper her name. He doesn't run. Instead, he sits, hands open on the desk. You found me, he says softly, as she appears in the doorway. Riley levels her sidearm, voice steady. You breached the White House. You crippled half the grid. Elias meets her eyes. No. I proved it was already broken. Riley circles him slowly, lowering the gun just an inch. Why do it? For money, revenge. Elias shakes his head. For truth. They build walls of encryption and call it safety. I built a mirror. You all just hated what you saw. She studies him. This gaunt man whose lie rewired history. You weaponized trust, she says. He smiles faintly. Trust was already a weapon. I just pulled the trigger. Outside, thunder rolls across the river. Inside, silence swells between them. The kind that only exists when two people realize they've both been right and wrong in the same breath. Riley's earpiece crackles. We've got him on visual. Secure the room. But she doesn't respond. Her gaze never leaves Elias. He leans forward. You can arrest me. You can erase me. But you can't patch human nature. His voice softens. Everything I did was to prove that your systems, your institutions, believe lies faster than people. Riley hesitates. You release something you can't control. Elias nods. So did they. For the first time, she sees him not as a hacker, but as a symptom. Minutes later, tactical boots thunder down the hall. Riley exhales, holstering her weapon. They'll bury this, she says. Elias nods. They always do. He stands, hands raised. Just make sure someone remembers what happened here. Not the code. The lie. When the agents burst in, Riley steps aside, but her eyes follow him as they cuff his wrists. For a fleeting instant, Elias glances back. A small, tired smile. He whispers, "You still think you can fix it?" Riley answers, "Someone has to try." The doors close. The storm outside breaks open once more. 2 weeks later, the official report is released. Attempted intrusion successfully contained. No data loss. No internal compromise. Every sentence is a lie polished into truth. The media cycle turns its gaze elsewhere. Riley reads the classified document alone in her office. The phrasing feels sanitized, as if someone had vacuum-sealed the past. But she knows the silence isn't safety. It's sedation. The infection isn't gone. It's just been archived. She signs the report, places it in the outgoing tray, and stares at her monitor's reflection. Her own eyes staring back, coated with secrets she can never tell. Elias Crane is gone, officially in federal custody, pending sealed proceedings. Unofficially, there's no trace. His apartment is stripped bare, his digital trail erased more cleanly than he ever managed himself. Riley suspects Kessler arranged a disappearance, not a trial. The government doesn't bury hackers. It repurposes them somewhere, deep in the quiet corridors of the unseen state. Elias is either working for them or locked away so he can't. She finds herself whispering to no one. Was that the plan all along? Far away, in a nondescript facility somewhere in Virginia, Elias opens his eyes to artificial light. He sits in a small, immaculate room. White walls, a desk, a terminal without a network connection. His only company is silence. Then, a drive slot opens with a mechanical click. A single USB stick slides out, black, unmarked. On it, one file labeled, Truth, XZ. He laughs quietly. Guess you missed me, he says to no one, as he plugs it in. The monitor flickers to life. Cypher's face appears, pixelated and serene. Welcome back, Elias. Let's begin again. Months later, Riley walks through a DC cafe filled with the white noise of conversation and clinking cups. She orders black coffee and sits by the window, watching people scroll endlessly on their phones. Small personal networks of trust, each one a door waiting to be opened. A young man at the next table accidentally drops a USB stick. Riley picks it up automatically. It's black, unmarked, the same shape. She hesitates, staring at it for a long moment before handing it back. He thanks her. She smiles faintly. Be careful what you plug in. Night again. A new city. A dim apartment illuminated by the glow of a single laptop screen. Someone, not Elias, not Riley, inserts a black USB stick. On the monitor, Cypher's face flickers back to life, her voice soft, almost amused. It only takes a lie. The camera drifts slowly toward the window, where lights of civilization stretch endlessly. Each one, a node, a heartbeat, a vulnerability. The world exhales, unaware that its next breach has already begun.